Thank you.
We'll take the next question. Let's go that side.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, Monsieur le Président. Bonjour, Monsieur le Président. Abdelnon Noueri, Radio France Internationale. Je voudrais vous demander, si vous le voulez bien, de nous tracer quel serait le meilleur profil du pays qui pourrait remplacer la Guinée et, si possible, nous dire quels sont les 10 pays qui sont déjà candidats. Merci.
Thank you. Can you just check again that where's the expert? Oh, that's fine.
This is English.
Oh, okay, thank you. Now, I can tell you the independent evaluation committee will look at the bids, and we got a very good suggestion here in relation to a more refinement of the criteria in relation to what are the expectations, the requirements, the standards that we want every country to fulfill. And let me tell you, many countries in Africa have hosted the CAN and have done so very successfully. I'm encouraging Senegal as well, in partnership with a few others. I'm encouraging every one of the 54 countries. But I can assure you, we are not going to choose a country that is not at the appropriate level, that fulfills the appropriate standards and criteria. And I've got no doubt now there are many countries in Africa that would really fulfill those criteria and those standards. Okay?
We'll take the next question this side. Let's go this way, Monday. This way, please. Can I just ask the people at the microphone to just be on the middle? Excuse me. If you can ask the media officers to take over the microphones quickly.
My question, good morning. My question, since many African countries are having difficulties hosting the CAN with the 24 team, are you considering him to back in 16 teams competition?
No. I'm going to keep it at 24 because African football is growing, and you know, it's a very good question. And some of the countries have made such good progress in football development over the years that we need to open it up. And as I said, Botswana, Botswana, Namibia, and Angola are looking at the three of them together. Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda are looking at, or Kenya are looking at themselves as together. I know that there are some discussions taking place in West Africa as well. And let me say this to you: if Guinea, succeeds to have make big progress on stadiums, and they come together, in my view, with you've got a wonderful stadium with Senegal and maybe one other. They would be considered very favorably. But as I said, we are not going to compromise on our criteria, on our standards, and on the levels, the world-class levels that we want all our competitions to be upheld.
Okay, we'll go that way and then we'll come back this way. That's okay. Listen.
مساء الخير. أطرح سؤال باللغة العربية. هل شوية من الإذاعة الجزائرية؟
Sorry.
Okay.
Shukran. Wait. Now you said English. Now you must change it. Yeah. The volume is too loud. There's somebody's ear. Can you just reduce the volume then? Is that the volume? Okay, that's fine. Okay. How do you say continue in Arabic? Okay, exactly what you're saying. Please proceed.
مرحبا بك مرة أخرى في الجزائر سيد موسيقي. سؤالي يتعلق بالمنافسة الإفريقية سواء في ما يتعلق ب
Sorry, they've got the French but they don't have the English. Can you hear? Can you hear? So if you can.
We can do it in English if you want.
No. Arabic is also our language. You must speak Arabic. Okay, let's. Shut man, your volume is too loud now. Let's try again.
Okay. مرحبا بك سيد موسيقي مرة أخرى وزيارتك الثانية بعد أكثر من شهرين للجزائر. سؤالي يتعلق بالمنافسة الإفريقية والبلدان الإفريقية التي تحتضن المنافسات الإفريقية، خصوصا خلال السنوات الماضية كان هناك تغيير كثير، سواء تأجيل بعض المنافسات الإفريقية على غرار الكان أو تغيير البلد. هل هناك استراتيجية فعالة من طرف الاتحاد الإفريقي لكرة القدم لتثبيت سواء بالنسبة للبلدان وتثبيت المنافسات حتى لا نصل إلى مشاكل مثل ما وصلنا إليها في الفترة الأخيرة؟ شكرا.
شكرا. شكرا. Very, very important question. Very important question. And you know, part of being a president, there are times when you must be a father, hug people and be nice. And there are times when you must look at people like you are very angry. They must get the message that we are not going to tolerate that. And there are times when you must really emphasize that there are certain professional expectations that we have to uphold. Now, you know, if there are problems in the other established football confederations in the world, I mean, these are respected, proven football federations, and people will understand that they'll fix it. We cannot, because we are still developing. The economies of Africa are largely developing economies, so we cannot afford to have the problems that you spoke about, where the games start late, the matches start late, the referees don't arrive in time, the commencement time is not correct, the fixtures are changed. Those sort of things, there is zero tolerance in that regard. And what is more important is for us consistently to build a track record that reflects that indeed, in every respect, we are as professional, as efficient, and as productive as the best in the world. And where we fail, you must tell us. You must identify it. And you must criticize us. And we have to focus on those things and improve them. Please proceed.
Okay, شكرا السيد موتسيبي. مرحبا بك في الجزائر. نبيل البناري من المؤسسة العمومية للتلفزيون الجزائري. عندي سؤال بشقين فيما يخص ترشيحات البلدان التي ستحتضن نهائيات كأس أفريقيا 2025. في سنة 2015 تنافست الجزائر على احتضان كان 2017 مع الجابون، وتم منح الشرف لبلد الجابون. بعد ذلك الكاف قامت بتعيين من سيحتضن طبعات 2019 و2021 و2023. في سابقة ربما لا أقول خطيرة ولكنها لم تكن منصفة. هل تعتقد بأن الجزائر التي تقدمت سنة 2015 لاحتضان كان 2017 جاهزة اليوم بملاعبها لاحتضان كان 2025؟ والشان الذي ستحتضنه الجزائر بعد أشهر سيكون اختبار حقيقي لمدى جاهزية الجزائر. أما السؤال الثاني سيد موتسيبي، لماذا لا تعتبرون اللاعبين الذين ينشطون في مختلف البطولات الإفريقية كلاعبين محليين يمكنهم المشاركة في الشان حتى نعطي الشان مستوى آخر أكثر؟ شكرا.
I must tell you, some of the things that makes me proud is the sort of questions that you ask, but also the passion for football in this country. It's something that makes me proud, very proud, and something that I think all of us in Africa who loves football get inspiration from. I was asking my brother Jahid, the president of Algeria. I was asking him, when last did you host AFCON? When last did you host CAN? Because as I said, part of the issue is not only that we want world-class standards and quality and levels, but we also want to give other countries a chance. And And when you realize that, you know, what is important for me is what ordinary people in Africa think of us, and their perceptions. Do they think that we are fair? And that's why the issue that happened last year with Al Ahly concerning the Champions League was a serious matter to me. It was not so much, not only about the facts, but also to try and persuade and convince people that we may not agree on the end product. And I had nothing, there was nothing I could do, because the decision was taken long before I became president that it was going to be a single-legged final. So we take seriously what the people in Algeria think about CAF, what the people in every one of the African countries think about us. And we have to be satisfied that at all times there's a perception of fairness, a perception of there's no preference. I can tell you there isn't a single country in Africa, not whilst I'm president, that will get favored or preference above any other country. It's not going to happen. And what is even more important is that the track record of this leadership, of this current vice presidents and presidents and CAF Exco must build a track record, even where there are different views and disagreements, where we reflect a consistent behavior of being fair and equitable and just and treat everybody equally. Next question.
Sarah, and then Nazim, and then the last question will go this way, because we've got 3 more questions, but then we have to go. Sarah, Nazim. Sarah first, please.
So as you were following, that was Patrice Motsepe, the president of the Confederation of African Football, answering the questions of journalists during a press conference. Moving on now to our news bulletin, and fast in our topical news. In a very special ceremony, the Russian president declared the annexations of the Donbass in addition to...
They've succeeded in organizing.
Yes.
Yeah, which games?
Mediterranean Games.
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And do you think that it will be the same for the Shan 2023?
Well, I can tell you, I'm not just optimistic, but I'm confident. My brother took me around to show me the infrastructure, and for me also, I like the passion that he shows and the commitment. I had a meeting with the head of state of Algeria. You leave that meeting feeling, here is a president who loves football. Here is a president who's committed to football. And that's very, very important, because it means that my job and the job of CAF, of making the CHAN next year the very best CHAN. We want to make the CHAN next year the very best CHAN. So I'm optimistic, because the infrastructure, I visited the stadiums, I saw the stadiums, and also, I was saying to him, Algeria should be in Qatar. There are a few other countries that I think should be in Qatar. Nigeria should be in Qatar. And I'm very proud of those 5, and that's why I'm happy that they've increased the number of African countries. But we're proud of Tunisia, we are proud of Morocco, we are proud of Senegal, we are proud of Cameroon, and we are proud of Ghana. And so he was saying to me, President, when the next World Cup comes, we're going to be there. So I'm happy to hear you say that.
Okay, Nazim, the last question, and then the last question will be at the back, and then President, because it's been a long day. Nazim, please.
Okay. Bonjour, Président, et bienvenue à vous et aux membres du comité exécutif. Nazim Bessol, Bordola. On assistera dans quelques heures au tirage au sort du CHAN, qui aura lieu dans un peu moins de 3 mois. Vos équipes sont là depuis pratiquement une semaine, 10 jours. Quels sont les retours que vous avez par rapport à ce qu'ils constatent ici sur le terrain comme avancé? Et quand est-ce que vous pensez pouvoir finaliser et signer le contrat cadre entre la CAF et le pays hôte? Merci.
We haven't signed the agreement. Okay. I want to repeat. We should never accept average or mediocre performance, either from CAF, the president of CAF, football in Africa. We should always express our views of disapproval, including express our views of criticism. And this is one of the cultures that I want to instill, not just whilst I'm president of CAF, but also in future when I'm not president of CAF, that the leadership of CAF understands that at all times we are accountable. Of course, we've got to be transparent, but very importantly, we've got to be ethical, and we have to make sure that the competitions that we run as CAF and our management is world class. So I mean, just in relation to your question, the agreement, it's a formality. Will be signed before the end of the month, and I'm so proud, my brother Saido, who's the chairman of the CHAN organizing committee, really, I think he must have lived in Algeria in his previous life. He loves Algeria, has spent a lot of time here with Magogo, the president of football from Uganda. And I repeat, in the meeting of EXCO, I said to my president of football from Algeria that I'm confident that we're going to have a successful CHAN in January, and I would like to see him, and I'd like to see Algeria bid for AFCON, and I know with all of these other countries that are bidding, and I think that the infrastructure and the facilities are here, are world class, and I'm confident that when the EXCO and the committees apply their mind and they see and compare where it should go, it will indeed go to the country that EXCO is satisfied based on the recommendations from the assessment or independent committee that that country is the best country. Okay, two more.
Last question. From the back.
Last question, yes. Plus one. Yes. Okay. We will give you a chance as well. Yes. Salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum. Bienvenue tout le monde. Bienvenue président. Parlons de votre fête. L'actualité, c'est bien la CHAN. Ce sera en Algérie. Est-ce qu'il y a une stratégie ou bien une vision de la part de la CAF pour booster ou bien améliorer ou bien donner une autre dimension pour la CHAN? Il y a tout dans cette compétition, les talents, les stades, le public, mais par rapport, on a vu par exemple la première édition de la Coupe arabe FIFA Qatar 2021, on a vu vraiment une fête, si on peut dire. Quelle est la stratégie ou bien la vision de la CAF pour donner une autre dimension pour la CHAN?
Salam alaikum. I was here 2 months ago?
Yeah.
2 months ago.
2 months ago.
And this important question you asked was asked over and over again. And what I want to say is that I was talking about we as Africans. I said it in Cameroon, and I said it in Rabat in Morocco, and I said it in Egypt, and I'm saying it here as well. We have to have more confidence in ourselves. We have to believe that that this country, with the other countries in Africa, have the capacity. I mean, Algeria has proven itself over and over again, and the same applies to Egypt, to Senegal, to Morocco, to Ghana, to Nigeria, and many, many other countries. So we must have a sense of positive confidence, and of course, where there are weaknesses and failures, we must identify them and mix them and fix them, but not have this persistent skepticism and this lack of self-belief and a perception that that we will somehow fail. And the question you ask is very, very important, and that's why I need to respond with this degree of confidence and optimism that I've seen during my last visit, and that I've seen in many other countries in Africa.
Non, par exemple, faciliter la tâche pour les supporters pour se déplacer.
Sorry. Go back. No. Sorry. No, give it to him. Give it to him.
Par exemple, pour faciliter la tâche pour les supporters pour se déplacer dans la CHAN, la diffuser dans les 5 continents du monde, par exemple des trucs comme ça pour avoir une autre dimension pour cette compétition.
Very good question. Very, very good question. I mean, I was in Guinea this morning, yesterday morning, and in fact I was in South Africa Thursday night. Had a meeting until very late. Arrived in Guinea in the morning and had meetings and was here at night. And some of the people in Cairo who are supposed to come here, they've got to go to Europe and have to go to other countries. So the whole issue of the flights, the tickets, the transportation, it's a very important point. And we were talking to Air Ethiopia, but this airline of this country is a very good airline. And one of the issues, there's this thing called the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. And one of the insistence, I mean, Africa can make tens of billions of dollars in tourism if we improve our airline industry. I mean, to go from Algeria to, I don't even want to talk about the south, but I would hope and I would imagine that it's easier to travel in the north. Of course, your airline is a world-class airline. But very important question, because in my meetings with the African heads of state, we emphasize invest in the airline industry and it will generate income for your countries. So you will be going to Qatar, and I know Qatar is doing excellent work, excellent. And I'm also aware that there are some exciting initiatives that involves Qatar, and the other airlines are also doing good to try and facilitate and significantly make sure that those who are going to the World Cup, but also post-World Cup, the Qatar Airlines is doing an excellent job.
Mustafa, you have the last question. The last question, Mustafa.
Confrères, consoeurs, messieurs et madame les membres de l'exécutif de la CAF, monsieur le président de la CAF, monsieur le président de la Fédération algérienne de football, bonjour. Merci président de m'avoir permis de vous poser une question. Je me présente monsieur Mazouzi Mustafa, journaliste indépendant. Donc ma question est relative à un événement planétaire. Nous sommes à quelques semaines du coup d'envoi de la Coupe du Monde au Qatar. Monsieur le Président, pensez-vous réellement que l'Afrique a une chance de figurer au moins dans le carré final? Et une question hors contexte. J'ai constaté en tant que journaliste que la CAF ne parle pas beaucoup les jubilés de nos stars africaines. Et il y en a beaucoup. Ne pensez-vous pas qu'il faille briser un tabou et de parrainer les jubilés, par exemple, des stars, et en parallèle financer des campagnes anti-famine en Afrique, d'autant plus que la CAF est devenue un empire financier. Merci beaucoup.
Sorry, he said CAF has become the financial hub. What does it mean, financial hub?
Empire.
Empire. CAF has got no money. Compare CAF with Europe. Compare CAF with the others. So, you know, remember Zizou, and go and look at Manchester City, go and look at Europe. Mbappe. I keep telling my brother from Cameroon, he says Mbappe is Cameroon. I said yes, but half is Algeria. So that combination makes him very, very, very special. Part of what we are doing is to lay the foundation for the future and lay a solid foundation. We may not see the 100% or 90% of the results that we would like to, but what we are confident is that foundation, schools football, competitions that are world-class, stadiums that are comfortable, football pitches that are world-class, TV broadcasting that is world-class, CAF, member associations, that's ethical, governance, all of those things will lay a foundation to make sure that African football is world-class. And what I like is, you see, those other African nations from the South, they benefit from the experiences of the African nations in the center, and they also benefit from the African nations in the North, just like the African nations in the North benefit from the center and the South. So what my heart tells me is we will have a big party if one of the African nations goes to the semifinals. What the facts tells me is it's going to be tough. But what I do know, what I've got no doubt, is if we continue to invest in our youth, in our clubs, in the infrastructure, the youth academies, speak to our sponsors to get more money from the sponsors, the African Super League, I can tell you, is going to keep some of the best players in Africa because they will be getting more money. I mean, you know, the club that my family owns were the champions of Africa in 2016. And they were the champions of Africa because we knew how much it was paid in Europe, and the players want money. It's correct. Football is a short life. I always tell them, make as much money as you possibly can, take some of that money, save it, but go where you will get the highest amount of money. What we will succeed to do in Africa, because we know how much they pay the players in Sweden, how much they pay in Copenhagen, in Denmark, how much they pay, including Belgium, how much they pay in other parts of Europe. I can tell you, we will succeed to keep some of the best players of Algeria, of Africa, in Africa. And because they will look at the money and say, you know what, why must I go where it's so cold up there? The weather in Algeria is beautiful, and my family is here, the food is better, beautiful country. Why must I leave Africa and go and play in other parts of the world when I can get the same amount of money or even more right here at home? So I want to conclude by thanking all of you for being here. And let me say, you make us proud. The media that asks questions, that is passionate, that criticizes, but also encourages when the good things happen, is what keeps all of us on our toes and makes us strive to even perform better. And I want to conclude once more by thanking my vice presidents and thanking our general secretary, thanking my brother Zaid, and thanking the people of Algeria, and say that we will meet, I'll see many of you in Qatar, and equally exciting, I'll see many of you here in Chan. And my final word, when Chan is finished, at the end of Chan, all of us will make an assessment. We will make an evaluation. And it will not only be what I say, it will also be, but President, we were there with you. These are our views. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President.
I have to rush. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Papa. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.